If you're tired of having your posts flop on TikTok and you feel like you're not getting the views that your competitors are getting, well, you're in the right place because the TikTok algorithm has recently changed for April 2024, and you need to change the time that you're posting, the hashtag you're using, and even the type of content you're creating. But the most important change that you need to make, I'm gonna share with you at the end of this video, and if you skip that part, it's going to be the reason that you're stuck in 200 to 300 view jail right now. So the first change that you need to make sure that you're making is you need to be producing more photo content. In fact, TikTok has literally come out and said that photo content does way better than videos right now, and that they're prioritizing pushing out photo content. No, this doesn't mean that you need to stop creating video content, but what it does mean is that you need to start adding more photos into your content. For example, you should be posting at least 3 to 4 photos every single week, because if you're not doing this, you're going to see a decreased amount of reach that you're getting. But there are 3 different criteria that you need to make sure that you're hitting every single time that you post a photo. And by the way, you shouldn't be posting singular photos, but before I share those with you, I need you to smash that subscribe button. If you want to go quicker on TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube, I literally upload a video every single day about how to grow on these platforms. In addition to that, I put together a list of 11 viral photo posts that you can copy to get more views. And if you want to get it, all you have to do is go to the pinned comment below and download it. It's literally 100% free, so I don't know why you wouldn't get it. So the 3 criteria you need to make sure that you're hitting within those photo posts are: 1, you need to be using at least 3 high quality photos that tell a story. 2, your description needs to be at least 200 characters, and ideally your description needs to be separated and spaced out so that it's really easy to read. In fact, TikTok literally recommends that you do all 3 of these things in order to get more views. And remember, the keywords that you put within the content, aka the description, and also within the photos are going to be the difference between you getting a lot of views or a little bit of views. But you know what the other thing that's going to make a massive difference is? The time that you're posting. In fact, you could post the same exact piece of content, but post it 15 minutes in the right time or 15 minutes in the wrong time, and it'll be the difference between your video flopping and getting stuck in 200 to 300 view jail, or your post going viral and getting over 100,000 views. It can literally be the same exact post, and there are 3 time slots that you need to make sure that you're posting in right now. The first time slot is from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. The second time slot is from 1 to 3 p.m. And then finally from 7:30 to 9 p.m. Now remember, you should be posting at a maximum 3 times a day on TikTok right now. Ideally, you'll be posting 1 to 2 times a day, but if you find something that really works or a topic that really works, feel free to bring that up to 3 times. But you should only be posting 1 time in each time slot, because you need to make sure you're waiting at least an hour in between posts on TikTok. If you don't wait an hour, your For You page eligibility hasn't reset, and it's going to lead to your post probably getting stuck with not that many views. In addition to that, you need to make sure that you're posting for your specific time zone, and you need to make sure that you're taking into consideration the psychological state that your viewers are going to be in. For example, if you're going to post a video about your favorite dessert, don't post that from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. because guess what? People aren't in the mood for dessert. They're driving to work, they just got to school, and they're in a totally different mindset and different mind frame, and you need to make sure that you're taking that into consideration when you go to post something. Now, before I share with you the best hashtags you need to make sure that you're using, and the final thing that is going to make all the difference with this latest TikTok algorithm, I need to make sure that you're doing 4 things right when it comes to your video content on TikTok. The first thing is you need to make sure that you're using the new Creator Search Insights tool. If you don't know what this is, all you have to do is do a search for that on TikTok and it's going to pop up, or if you go into your creator tools, you might be able to see it now because TikTok is going to be placing it in there. But essentially what this is going to do is it is going to allow you to do searches and see how many people are searching for different topics on TikTok. In addition to that, there's a For You section where they will literally tell you all the things that people are searching for on TikTok, and you can even filter by things specific to several different niches. And as time goes on, they're going to add more and more niches in here. And probably the most helpful way that you could use this tool is you need to make sure that you're using it as a proxy. So if you have 3 different ideas that you're going to go post about, you do a search for each of them and see which one of them is getting more searches. And then from there, you know where to actually invest your time. And if you really want to focus on saving time and getting more views, you're going to love the last tip that I share with you in this video. But before we get to it, I need to make sure that you're emphasizing content over 1 minute long. Content that's over 1 minute long not only is getting more views on TikTok right now, it's also more likely to rank for search, and it's the content that TikTok pays the most money for. In fact, TikTok just came out with a new creator rewards program, and guess what? all you need is 10,000 followers and 100,000 views in the last 30 days to be eligible, which means that this is one of the easiest programs for you to qualify for and actually be able to make money on TikTok. In fact, I just helped this creator right here gain over 70,000 followers on TikTok and get monetized in just 30 days. And I hope this creator do the same thing, except they gain over 60,000 followers. And the same thing can happen to you once you start focusing on content that is over 1 minute long. In addition to that, you need to make sure that you're writing longer descriptions on TikTok right now. Like I shared with you earlier, TikTok is trying to emphasize creators that are putting more effort into the description that they're writing because they've realized something. More than 50% of people scrolling on TikTok don't have their sound on, similar to Instagram. So guess what this means? A lot of people come on TikTok just to try to find something interesting and then they turn their sound on, or what they end up doing is just reading the description if you have a long description, and that is where they actually spend the most time on your content. In addition to that, you need to make sure that you're taking advantage of the green screen feature right now on TikTok. If you're not using this feature, I can guarantee two things. One, your content probably isn't something that's trending, and two, you're not taking advantage of authorities. What I mean by authorities is you talking about some type of news that has happened, you talking about a bigger creator or celebrity, or a big brand. Because essentially, if you're a small account on TikTok, nobody cares what you have to say. Even if you're a big account on TikTok, most of the time, nobody cares what you have to say, but people will stop and listen to what you have to say if you're talking about something that people care about. You need to realize something here. The majority of comments you're going to get on TikTok might be hate comments, or they might all be really positive, but you need to get somebody to have a reaction, because the worst thing that you could possibly do on TikTok is have somebody have no reaction at all. If somebody watches your piece of content, they either need to really agree with you or really disagree with you. If they have no opinion, well, guess what? You're gonna be lost in no man's land, because they're not gonna like your content, they're not gonna watch your content, they're not gonna share your content, and ultimately, they're not going to be there to see another piece of content because they're just going to swipe away from it. Which brings me to the most important thing you need to make sure that you're doing with your long form content right now, and that is that you need to be focused on the first 3 seconds. In fact, you need to be looking at your audience retention graph to make sure that at least 70% of people are sticking around through the first 3 seconds. If they're not, then either one, the topic you're creating content on is something people aren't interested in, or two, the hook that you chose wasn't good enough. But when it comes to your hook, you need to realize the prioritization that you need to be using here. The first thing that you should be focused on is showing something as a hook. The second thing you should be focused on is the text on the screen. And then finally, the voiceover of you actually talking. Those 3 things combined are what actually create your hook. And if you're not looking at each and every single one of them and trying to make the best one possible for the piece of content you're creating, it's why you're not getting the views that you want. Or you could be using the wrong hashtags on TikTok. In fact, there are 4 new hashtag strategies you need to make sure that you're using, and there are 3 types of hashtags that you need to be aware of. The first type of hashtag are going to be trending hashtags. These would show up under the Discover page on TikTok, which they just recently brought back, so you have trending hashtags again. The second type of hashtag are going to be broad hashtags. These are things like hashtag FYP, hashtag viral, hashtag trending, and then finally, niche specific or post specific. They're the same exact thing, but essentially, when you do a search for whatever topic you're going to be posting about and go under tags, these are going to be the hashtags that show up there. And there are a few rules that you need to make sure that you're following when it comes to your hashtags. But first, let me tell you the 4 best hashtag strategies to use. The first one is going to be 10 hashtags. The second, 1 to 2 hashtags. The next, 4 to 5 hashtags, and then finally 7 to 8 hashtags. Now remember, there are 3 golden rules when it comes to choosing hashtags on TikTok. The first one, you should ideally be using hashtags that are relevant. The only hashtags you should ever use that are irrelevant are going to be broad hashtags. Secondly, for each one of those, you want to make sure that 75% of them are niche or post specific, and the other 25% are trending or broad. And you should only be using trending hashtags if you're actually participating in that trend. And then finally, you need to make sure before you use a hashtag on TikTok, click into that hashtag, see the type of content that's being created. What do the hooks look like? What formats are they using? Or how long are those pieces of content? Because if your content doesn't look and feel like that content, well, guess what? TikTok isn't going to push it, and it's going to think that your content is irrelevant, even though it might be on the same topic, because TikTok classifies people out. There are people on TikTok that watch 5-second TikToks, and all they get shown are 5-second TikToks. Other people watch 3-minute TikToks, and all they see are 3-minute TikToks. So you need to make sure that you're taking into consideration not only the topic of the piece of content, but also the length. And now for the last and most important thing that you could do on TikTok, because you could do everything right that I share with you. You could use the new tools. You could post photos. You could post at the right time. You could post using the right hashtags. But if you're posting about something that TikTok doesn't have an audience for, it's the reason you're stuck at 200 to 300 views. And the way that you could test this is you need to take the hook that you chose, or the topic that you chose, or even the text that's on the screen, or the description that you chose. Go type that into TikTok, do a search, and then I want you to apply these filters. I want you to sort by most liked and this month. If no other posts show up that look like the post that you created, it's a sign that TikTok doesn't have an audience for your content, because here's how TikTok ultimately works. When you log on to TikTok, you get shown content that is similar to the last type of content that you interacted with. It's going to be around the same length. It's going to be on the same topics. TikTok does this because it keeps you coming back, because TikTok knows that you like that type of content. Now you need to think about the content your audience is going to see the same way, because if you create content that nobody has interacted with before, well, guess what ends up happening? TikTok doesn't know who to push your content to, so your ideal viewer logs on and doesn't see your content because you didn't make content like the last thing that they interacted with. And if you're not getting the views that you want to right now, that's gonna be why. And I personally wanna help you. In fact, I wanna look at your TikTok account, tell you everything you should do differently, exactly what hashtags to use, and even how to edit your content differently. And I wanna guarantee that I can help you get more followers on TikTok in the next 30 days. Remember, you only need 10,000 followers to get monetized on TikTok. And I just helped this creator gain over 60,000 followers in just 30 days, and this creator over 70,000. And I wanna help you do the same exact thing. If that sounds interesting and you wanna work with me personally to grow quicker on TikTok and get monetized, well, please keep watching this video, because I've got a special offer for you. But since I'm only one person, there are limited spots. The opportunity to grow on TikTok and this organic reach that we're currently seeing is not going to last for forever. And the only two things holding you back from getting the followers that you deserve right now on TikTok and the followers that you want is, one, you haven't implemented the steps that I share with you in this video to help you get more followers, and two, you haven't gotten into my TikTok mentorship program yet, where I literally am going to guarantee that I help you get more followers in the next 30 days, or you get your money back, 0 questions asked. And the way that this works is I'm going to tell you exactly what to post, when to post, what hashtags to use to guarantee that you get more followers in the next 30 days. If that sounds interesting, then please go to the link in the description below and get signed up right now. The average person that's gone through this program has gained over 50,000 followers, and nobody has ever gone through it and gained less than 6,500 followers if they implemented everything that I share with them. And since you're still watching this video, I'm going to assume that you're above average. So the odds of you gaining over 50,000 followers is probably quite high. And it doesn't matter what your background is or what your niche is. This program is going to help you get more results faster and easier. If you're struggling right now to grow on TikTok, you need to get into this, because every single day that you wait, it's only going to get harder to grow. So what are you waiting for? Go to the link in the description below and sign up right now. You literally have absolutely nothing to lose. You're going to get more followers on TikTok, or you're going to get your money back. In fact, this creator just went through this program and gained over 10 million followers. This creator over 14 million, and this creator over 16 million. And I want you to be my next success story. So please stop procrastinating, invest in yourself now, and get the TikTok followers that ultimately you deserve. Or I strongly suggest you check out the next 2 videos I put up on the screen, because they're the videos YouTube thinks you should watch next. Thank you so much for watching.